Welcome to Getting Back Up, where grief meets growth.
Two men, two fathers, and one shared journey of rebuilding.
We're talking about life after cancer, love, loss, and everything no one tells you.
Well, let's get into it.
Hello, I'm David McClain, and this is Getting Back Up.
And I'm Jamal Jones, and we are here to talk about those first, or some really difficult steps, because we had to make a couple already.
Right.
But these are when the difficult steps start coming in and they start hitting you really hard at moments.
Right. It's the big ones where, sure, it was routine at one point. Now it's the massive ones that affect those folk in your household.
Yeah, some are going to be small.
Yeah.
You know, easy ones like what do we wear to school and, you know, what do we cook for dinner? But some of these are going to be some heavy hitting decisions and heavy hitting, you know, moments that you are really kind of like digging deeper into this life alone. You know, I think some for me, you know, we talked about in the last episode, we talked about, you know, the process of moving forward. And one for me was, you know, I talked about the, you know, looking for a house, that decision, you know, my mother-in-law, God rest her soul, was like, hey, Jamal, I think it's time. You know, we should, you know, you go and find a new house and everything. And fast forward probably 6 months from that point, you know, we found a house and everybody's packing up, and, you know, I go in, I sign the mortgage papers, and I'm realizing, hey, there's nobody else. It's just me signing. And then like, hey, Jamal, hold the key. And I remember standing there taking this picture. My realtor handed me this key with, you know, their the name of their realty company. And I'm standing there like this, and, you know, but it hit me like I'm solo in this picture.
Yeah.
Right. This mortgage, granted, it's a mortgage. It's my mortgage now. Right? Nobody else to back me up on this thing. But it was the first time that I had signed a mortgage and taken the step to build a home without a partner. Yeah. Right. And just for me and the children. And, you know, we go through that process, and that in and of itself was insane. But then even, you know, to follow back up on the conversation we had the week of, you know, when we were burying our late wives and going through their closets, trying to find stuff, that was a 6-month process. Yeah. Of giving stuff. I don't remember my sister-in-law Yodit. She would come because she was about the same size as Janice, and she would come every few days, every week, and go through and get a couple things. And, you know, man, that was like a process. And then driving her stuff down and making the decision, again, another decision of executing the decision that we had made. We had decided to donate everything to Dress to Success. I mean, just these heavy moments, these, you know, we call it adulting now, right? But I mean, adulting alone with children is totally different when when you're used to doing it with somebody else. Right. Right.
Decisions you would not have to make.
Right.
If you were.
Right.
Still together. She was still alive.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a part of it where, of course, you know, I think I mentioned like Zaya and Jackie, every time we went and looked at the house, we're like, Nana's not coming. So now Nana's not coming. Right. And we're driving to this new house and she's not there. And the kids, I'm sure, feel some kind of way about it. And I was like, don't worry, Nana's coming to visit tomorrow. Right.
Get to make sure of that.
Right. Like she's going to be here.
Not a clean break.
Not a clean break. Yeah. I need you to watch you guys.
It's not out of your life.
Yeah, exactly. So. But I think those are pieces of it. And then, you know, I think it's just this element where you get to some of these points, and there's an element where you feel like, man, am I betraying the family? Am I betraying, you know, my late wife in this by doing this step, or, you know, doing this? And I think it's things like that when you go through that, it's just a hard.
And you didn't stop. You weren't frozen in those situations.
Right.
It was, I just need to consider this because I'm going to have to make some more decisions. Yeah. So you weren't afraid to make those choices. It's, okay, this is moving forward. Right. This true, I have to remember, that's right. I'm moving forward. That's right. Yep. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm getting in that process.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, then there's the other part where it's like a lot of these steps, a lot of this is also taking the actions that are necessary in order to kind of move through the grief, move through this whole process of getting back up. But a lot of it is just kind of it's these in your face experiences of like, yeah, you're single, or your wife is no longer here, or your spouse, your partner is no longer here. You know, these in your face moments. I remember, you know, of like filling out forms for the kids' school, right? And you filling it out every year. They make you fill the same forms out every year,
right?
And you get to that section of like father's box. Name,
sure.
Jamal Jones, address, phone number. Are you the primary parent? Yes. Mother's name. Right. Like, what do you do with that?
It's official.
It's official.
Yeah.
Right. There is no emergency contact.
Right.
Now, who's the emergency contact?
Right.
Right. It was automatically me before.
That's true.
Right. It was or mom before.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, which uncle, aunt, right, friend,
who's
neighbor, who's most reliable,
yeah, right?
Who am I going to trust with my children's life? Yeah, right. And I mean, honestly, there was a point, my parents lived like 1,900 miles away, but they were my emergency contacts for years.
Not much they could do.
Right. Because I'm like, at least they can make the phone call
and then call you
and call me, or call all the people who they trust. Yeah, right. Yeah. But you know, and I think those are the hard moments. Like, you got to go through the insurance updates, updating insurance documents, just this repetitive process.
Yeah,
is just constantly reminding you of your new identity and who you are now, and you're walking this path alone. And it's kind of like digging a wound a little bit, right? Like somebody's just like, yeah, I know that. Yeah. I'm gonna just keep
that's how it feels, but they don't know.
They don't know that
it is an official capacity that you have to do all of these things, or you receive that mail at your house. I remember for me, even to this day, still, Nalani will still get mail.
Yes,
at my new location.
Right.
Okay, and so that you think, man, don't they know?
Right,
and then you think,
right,
and to that too, or to what end do you go and call folk and make the changes now for insurance and all the other things? And that was hard.
Or the debt collectors, or the collectors.
Yeah, whoever.
The random collectors, people calling about, oh, do you know, Nalani, McLean, or do you know, Janice Jones? I'm like, yeah, who is this? And they're like, oh, well, this is so-and-so from such and such debt. Good luck, click. Right. Right, because it's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm already 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 12, 2 years, 3 years, right? And we're still like dealing with this, right?
In a kind of, I guess, healthy advice or helpful advice, I should say, is some of these people will start coming for you.
Right.
And you have to set up your situation in such a way where the state really doesn't have
some states don't. It varies state by state.
Yeah.
I remember having this conversation. I remember getting calls, from different debt collectors or bill collectors or whatever. And, I called like my lawyer at one point and asked them like, hey, and they were like, well, this is not your debt.
That's right.
In the state of, whatever the case was, state of Texas at the time, like, this is not your debt because of this, why. So don't worry about it.
And it's worth it making the call in those certain situations, or saying, just calmly state, this estate, you go after the state.
Yeah.
There isn't money there.
Yeah.
In her estate, no, we aren't independently wealthy up in here. You don't have to say that to the people on the phone.
Yeah.
However, you are firm in the idea of you can check with the estate.
Yeah.
And maybe you should forgive some of whatever amount is owed in certain situations.
Exactly.
It varies, but
it does worth I definitely recommend. I mean, we can do this on our recommendations at the end, but I think having a lawyer who's familiar with the state law in your state in particular is critical.
Yeah.
I think the other piece that was difficult or not really difficult, but it was like a weird feeling for me, was when, you know, we had you know, a couple cars, 3 cars at the time, and I had to return her lease, right? And it was a part of course, returning her lease also meant now I have to go buy a new car because she had the SUV.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was weird, like calling them and saying, hey, so I got to return Janice Jones' car, like an account number, such as, here's the account number, here's the van, go through can we ask why? Oh, well, you know, unfortunately she passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, you got to go through that whole, who's on the phone? Oh my gosh, our condolences. Like that whole process is, of course, you appreciate it, but it's just this constant repetitive, and you kind of want to fast forward to, okay, well, I'll send you the death certificate. Yeah. Again, keep plenty copies of the death certificates, right? So, okay, no problem. We'll fax you a copy or email you a copy, whatever. But then, you know, in my situation, for whatever reason, I think I dropped her car off. Right. So I drove the car to the dealership and it's the drive, and, you know, you turn over the keys and you got to sign a document, and there's more. It's like, it's just all of these different decisions, all of these different reminders of this experience and this journey. But I mean, again, they're the necessary things that have to happen in order for you to move forward.
Changing the health insurance and all the medical forms. And we talked about the emergency contact that you have to put on these things. When you go to the dentist's office, when you go for the physicals with the girls, and as a father, it's allowing them to go into that room with the doctor, and then talk to them after, and just getting used to the experience of, maybe it was something you leaned on your late wife to do the doctor's appointments or what have you. Now you're doing it all.
That is true. I am not gonna lie. I'm not great at that. Right. Like I would just get the invite on my calendar.
So you knew what's happening.
So I knew.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it'd be like, you take kids, right? so that's definitely like the part where it's like, now these things all start falling on you, in order to like literally hold his family together, hold his kids, and keep everybody healthy and happy. The other part too, I think it's like the grocery shopping, and I know for me it was like it was a life changer. My kids probably hated me probably for the first six months because I tried to be vegan and vegetarian or whatever.
There'll be no Pop-Tarts.
Oh my God, there was nothing.
Oreos are not
anything
vegan.
That was potentially linked to cancer.
Oh my goodness, you were hypersensitive.
Oh, because I mean, like the reality, like we had PTSD from it, right? Like you were traumatized from it, and you're like, what caused this loss? What caused her cancer? I don't know what it is, but, you know, or the articles say Cheerios and articles say, you know, food dyes, and there's maybe milk, maybe red. Like there was nothing in the house, right? The kids hated me, right? They were like, Dad,
stuff was bland.
Everything was
or very green.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. Everybody just gets smoothies every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that was a part where, like, again, it goes back to like the decision making. Yeah, like you have to determine, like, it's like, what is your family gonna be?
See,
now,
it's funny, the shopping thing, because shopping to me is immediate gratification. Yeah, I love shopping. I'm serious. Not clothes. No.
Oh, just
you take me to the mall? No, no.
Yeah, I'm out.
No. It's funny. Quick story, and then I'll talk about this and something else as it relates to the solo trips now on everything. Is that when my grandmother was alive, we would go to the mall and whatever, and we go in, and I'm with my mom, and she's shopping and comparison pricing and all this other with my grandmother. And we look around, it's like, where's grandma? Grandma is outside the store in the area, the atrium area, looking in at us. She doesn't say she's ready to go. She doesn't have to say it. She just look at, oh, baby, get your stuff. We need to.
We gotta go. Time's up.
We gotta go. Yeah. We gotta go. But I like the shopping piece for me was they'll put all those things that they'd love to get on the list. All these kinds of chips and all this. I'm like, no.
You crossing stuff out.
We getting the essentials up in here. You in the grocery
store by yourself, like, oh hell no.
What? Good humor bars. We ain't doing. What are you talking about?
But then you get to a point. Then there's a point where you get to, and you're like, we're in survival mode, right? Like, yes, chicken nuggets every day.
But you know what? You also then balancing this idea of that's also comfort food for them too.
Right.
This may be a memory that they have with their mother, because that was a situation in my case that, Nalani's big sweet tooth.
Yeah.
And so I let certain things.
So is James.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we had to start considering that, wait a minute. This is therapy through food. Gotta monitor that stuff because they're gonna eat anyway at a certain age.
It's funny now. The kids will look at certain ingredients as they start paying more attention to their own health, and they look at certain ingredients and they're like, "Mom used to buy this all the time. You used to let us eat this," and
that's an indictment.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you're like, you don't care about our health?
Yeah, and I'm like, certain battles I was not willing to fight.
That's right. I'm not dying on this hill.
Yeah, I'm not dying on this.
This is the hill I'm not dying on.
So, but I think these are things. It's just like you find this balance of like the difficult moments, but then also there's the fun moments, the decisions that you have to make, the trips, right? Like experiences that you want to start bringing to the children that you may not have been able to give or provide, while their mom was here, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the other part is like, what are these experiences and how do we make these decisions on those elements? Not all the decisions that we have to make are bad. Some of them are very difficult. Some of them are fun and they're still difficult, like buying a plane ticket, right? So
that we talked about on another episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
let me say this that's kind of serious, and then we'll kind of get into since we have girls, that's a whole topic. But let me go back to very serious moment when Nalani was going through the diagnosis, and then it came back, knowing that we were in the terminal, getting close to the terminal stage. We had closed on our forever house, brother.
Yeah.
And we were so excited, and we were the inspectors coming and all this. And then when we realized, she may not survive, is having to back out of that closing. We were at that very last stage.
Had the children seen the house?
They'd seen everything. So
something that was
man, the people involved, the folks from whom we were going to buy the house, their lawyer, and all the people involved on our side, and the financing people. I just said, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And they were wonderful and were in full agreement and understanding. No, we get it. So no repercussions for me in any way. So that happened. So then I had to look for a house that fit my financial budget.
Right.
And we were very fortunate to find where we live now, not too far away from the routine as far as getting the girls to school, drop-offs. They're now at the stage where at least my oldest can walk, and that will be the case coming up. So that's serious for you all, that you had these plans.
Yeah.
You had worked to a certain point, and then the tragedy happens, and then you have to rebalance and think about what makes sense going forward. This big house that shows something of where you are in stature, which that's not so important when it's going to be an empty house, because the person who was part of that dream isn't here any longer.
Right.
So there's that as well.
I think the ones, that as single fathers, as single parents do this, will be the parenting decisions, right? Like, the clothes, clothes shopping. We talked about that earlier. You hate going to the mall.
Yeah.
And I'm very much, I don't mind going to the mall, but let's go to that store.
That's right.
That aisle. Like this should not be like an all day.
That's right.
We're not touring, right? We're not touring the mall.
Yeah.
And but either way, it's like navigating that process of your children growing.
Yeah.
And you are, as an individual, cycling through these these challenges of they're growing. If you've got daughters, they're growing, and they're changing. And you mentioned earlier they're evolving into women, and you're closer to this process than most fathers probably want to be.
That's why the wife was part of that decisioning.
Exactly.
And now I'm with you, man. And I'm sure some of you are men out there, when they your daughters become young women and have a little shape.
Yes.
And going to whatever store and they want hot stuff and whatever. As a father, you're struggling with it because it's everybody knows you have a belly button.
Yeah.
You don't have to show it.
Right. Or you're leaving, they're leaving in the morning and you're like, wait, hold on.
Right.
Turn around. Right.
That's the truth.
Like, no.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Have a good day. Right.
Aren't there baggier options?
Right. You don't have. So that's the shirt you have to wear with that. Right.
That's right.
So but I think there's the piece that those are the decisions of like being a parent and not being this overprotective parent and trying to channel this element of your late wife what would her perspective have been on this, right? And not trying to, guilt them one way or the other, but trying to kind of present your view, your opinion, as if it's just yours, it's firm, but then also it's also going to be something where, we're going to do it my way.
Right. Because you're still the father.
Right.
And how they present to the world, because we've been in the world.
Exactly.
And so that's the big challenge.
Yeah.
And then if you have girls, you have the menstrual cycles.
Yeah, the cycles, then those
that conversation.
I don't envy you. Thankfully I had gotten married by the time.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah. So
I did outsource that with play aunties, and I saw what the packages look like as far as being discreet and how you
get
that
rid
aisle
of. Confusing. I've gone to that aisle before. I have no problem shopping in that aisle when I get send me the picture.
Okay.
Of what you need. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But it's a confusing situation and we need help with that.
Yeah.
Right? Like men are we don't care about wings. Like just large, medium, small. Like just tell me send me the picture of the box.
Yeah.
But I think you still need, those are still you're still part of those experiences. Sure. Still part of those decisions. And I think those are some that you get to and you're like, wow, like I wasn't prepared for this, or I need help with this. And I think it's okay to do that. Right. I think it is okay. It is okay to say, tag in family member, tag in, companion, depending on where they are in the stage of your relationship. Yeah. And tag in these people who are in the community, because there are parts where your children, especially if you have girls, may be more comfortable with somebody else. Sure. And if you have male children, if you have boys, that's fine, right? Like those are the ones we feel comfortable handling, but we still may need to tag somebody in to give another voice and another opinion on those. The one that I wanted to talk about was like we both hit it, and you had texted me. I remember when our girls, they're both 8th graders, and they were going to their 8th grade proms.
Oh Lord.
Right. And the dress shopping and the different, outfits. And I don't know, my daughter came home in a dress, with a dress, and refused to put it on in front of me and Jordan. And I said to her simply, I'm like, if you can't put the dress on in front of us, then you probably shouldn't have the dress.
There it is. Logic.
I didn't get into why would you buy this dress or whatever. That was the simple logic.
That's the way to do it.
This is when I channeled dad, right? And said, if you can't put that dress on in front of me and Jordan, then you probably shouldn't wear the dress. Yeah. And she was okay with that. I think she felt like, you know what, Dad, you're right. A little bit more emotional than that. Yeah. But she was like, you're right. And, Jordan helped her find another dress. But I know you and I, we talked because for you, that dynamic was a little different this time. Right.
And it's, again, these milestones that, the first big dance, or when you realize you can't go back. This child is now getting close to a young woman
Right.
and looks that way. So for me, it was, again, someone else should be here too
Yeah.
and help with this decision
Yeah.
as well. And I did go into the community around me to help with some of that.
Yeah.
However, it was one, seeing her as her father and thinking, ooh, can't we cover up some of that?
Yeah.
But then it's also, man, tears came to my eyes, brother.
Yeah.
Because it's, wow, I don't have a little girl anymore. So that hit me big time as well.
One that hit me too was for Jackie. I remember, again, she was older, 12 at the time when Janice passed, but the following year, so almost the anniversary of her passing, Jackie had gotten invited to attend, a college camp, for the summer, for a few weeks in the summer. And initially we were both excited about going. I was excited for her, but driving that, mind you, I'm driving from Texas to Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Oh, Lord.
Right. So it's like a 6-hour drive from Austin. And, we're driving there, we're bonding, playing music, talking, and, and there was a part for me when we got there, because this was not like a get there and stay there. Parents basically drop the kids off and see you later. And one is Louisiana, right? It's Louisiana. Okay. And, Deep was, Louisiana, and is where this college is. Nice campus. But then I turn around and I'm coming back, and the decision of dropping my child off by herself, right? Like, then I'm thinking, like, man, is this a good decision? Right? Is this, and then, she's going for it, she's pulling for it. And then, like, next day morning, I got a call from the counselor, like, Jackie wants to come home. Oh, wow. And I get on the phone with her, and I'm like, are you sure you want to come home? And she's like, I miss home. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I can do this. And as a parent, now you're second guessing, like, man, like, maybe I made a mistake, right? Like, maybe
she isn't ready.
Maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe it's too close to, it's close to the anniversary, and or like all these different things, and the pressures of these decisions are coming from the perspective of, are they going to resent me? Are other people going to look at me as a parent and be like, yeah, I knew he couldn't do it, right? Or like the societal pressures, right, that are out there of like single dads, they don't know what they're doing, right? But I told her in that moment, I said, give it one day. And if at the end of the day, give it to the end of the day. And if at the end of the day, at 8 o'clock tonight, you call me and you're like, I want to come home. I was like, I'll come and get you the next morning. And I didn't hear from her.
Wow.
Right. I didn't hear from her that night. The counselor texted me later that evening. Jackie had a great day. She told me to tell you that she wants to stay.
Wow.
And I text Jackie that night, and I'm like, how are you? She was like, I'm good. Right. And, I love you, Dad. Thanks. I'll make it work.
That means everything.
And it made it, and I think in those moments you have those points where all these choices, all these decisions that you have to make, like, there's so much hanging on them. Some of them are very, very mild. Some of them are very like low pressure, but some of them are truly like defining decisions that you have to make for yourself, for your family. And they're not always going to be easy. Right. And you have to, it's okay to second guess. I second guess myself. Like we talked about before, I was like, you make a million times or 10 million times for every decision is like, I'm like flip flopping on what I should do. Yeah. But you have to trust that, hey, like, I'm making the right decision. And maybe my late wife would agree with it, or maybe she's not, but I'm making this decision.
And we're talking about the approach changes in situations. Think about sleepovers.
Right.
And when the girls are of a certain age and they want to have sleepovers at their house.
Especially, yeah.
And now they're coming over, if it's at our homes, certain situations, a couple of them for me, where there's a male in the house.
Right.
I am the male and there weren't any other adult females.
Right.
Now, I did have situations, and you have to think about how you let the parents know that in the situation I was in, two things. One, you have to just say it in a way that they know that the male is just going to be present with these girls. Guys, it's just the society we live in now.
Right.
And the parents need to know that.
Right.
So here are the two situations, one where there was a female present for me. I make a point of saying, and the girl's grandma will be here for when it help me during the evening, and then when we do pancake breakfast tomorrow morning, so that they know there is a older adult maternal figure, and so it should be
not
fine.
that you're not old enough,
not that I'm old enough, but I don't know what I'm doing, right? Because I'm a male and
exactly
single father and all this
just
other
get
stuff.
your plate of food.
Yeah, just get your plate of food. Go sit down, baby. We got this. And then also the other situation is allowing the parents to say they're not comfortable with
and being okay with that.
And being okay with that, because I'll say and let them know, hey, my child, Kara, my youngest at the time, she wants to have a sleepover. The children have a choice of they can spend the night, or you can pick them up at XYZ time.
Right.
And then you don't have to get into the big conversation of, it's just me and there's no other woman here, just for that comfort of the parents. So there's a way to approach it in a way without stating kind of what has.
No, I would do the same thing. Similarly, I would do, so the rule for me with my kids was, if I haven't seen the inside of, if you want to visit a friend or go sleep over, happy to do so as long as I've seen the inside of their house. Right. And that was something I afforded the parents too. Right. Like, I didn't want anybody sleeping over, visiting, unless their parents had come and seen the inside of the house in some form or fashion. So parents would pull up and stop and drop their daughters off or their sons, right? Because for whoever, like kids had different play dates at times, and I'd say, hey, come on in, right? Come on in.
Let them come in. If
I'd let the parent, well, no, come on in. Come on. And it was a way for me to engage them, right? In some cases, these are friends in school that you've seen or on a team that you've met before, but it's not enough for me. And I would give them that ability to step inside and kind of see what my world looks like, see what the world, and then vice versa. If I'm dropping Zaya off, I'm at the front door, like, hey, how you doing? Right?
Yeah. Thanks for inviting
and a couple times I've said to parents, I was like, Zaya is not allowed to visit anybody's house if I haven't seen the inside. And the parents will look at me like, really? I'm like, I have to make sure that, like, you guys trust me as much as I trust you. Right. And I would tell them, I'm a single dad. Similarly, right? If you're coming to visit, like, hey, I'm a single dad. The kids are going to be here eating popcorn, watching the movie. But it's just going to be me. Their grandmother's probably going to stop by later in the evening. And but either way, it's like me making them similarly, like, and making them feel comfortable with, this is a different dynamic. Right. That not everybody might be, comfortable with.
Big decisions moving forward. Yes, it may feel routine for some and it's small, but it really does impact you, your children, the people around them. We're talking about big decisions here. And those that seem small, but some are very large. The medical bills and just that it's you, solo trip now. But the resources, call those in. The friends, the play aunties, in your case, your sister. How crazy does this sound? Or just running it back and, maybe tweak this or do that.
Or like, again, the sanity check. My sister has no problem with me calling and saying, it won't even be, hey girl, how you doing? Hey sis. It'd be like, am I crazy? But right. Am I crazy? Like, that's how I would start my calls with her half the time. Hey, am I crazy? But is it appropriate for, and sometimes they'd be laughing at me like, no, that's perfectly fine. You should, or sometimes they'd like, no, you're absolutely right. Like, you need the sanity check because a lot of these decisions are new. Right. And again, you're approaching it from, the perspective of a dad mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To go back to that phrase, like, you are both people now.
Right.
And you have to channel that. So
yeah.
I think the other part of, like, why these things cut so deep, like why these decisions are in some cases difficult, right? I think we talked about, like, the element of, like, betrayal, right? Am I betraying by making this decision? Is it like taking off the ring? Is it an element of betrayal? Is it more further acknowledgement that I can do this without this person who I did it with for years, right? I think that's part of it. And then, another one for me was feeling like I'm going to fail. And, what's a failed dad? A failed dad is a dad who doesn't show up. That's my logic, right? Like, that's for me. Like, a failed dad, if you're not showing up as a dad,
that's right.
That's for me is a failure. But for my definition, because I put so much value, or so much of my identity was my role as a father, particularly because my marriage was challenging, a lot of my identity was baked into being a successful father. And now it is more on me than it was before. Right. And I think that was a other part of it, was like, I cannot fail at this. Right. I cannot let, my decisions end up negatively, impacting the kids, or resulting in, myself being sick, hurt, disabled, or anything like that. Like, those were the things that I thought about. What, anything that you in particular, when you thought about, like, what drove how you made your decisions, or why you made certain decisions?
I think it was cause and effect, really, for me, is you don't know what's going to land with your children. You don't, and you do all of this now for something cumulatively later. You don't know what's going to come out in the way they are moving forward in life, how they raise their own family, or enter into different relationships. So right in through here, my report card essentially is, it's very touching to me, is the handmade cards that I've gotten on Father's Day or my birthday.
Yeah.
And they're saying, Dad, you're my number one.
Yep.
And we love you so much. We respect you, and all these things. I'm like, I mean, then I know I'm doing the right steps. I'm taking the right time. I'm balancing, nurturing, discipline to a degree, and trying to get better with that. And the real check is the feedback in different ways from my children, and watching them when they're out there in public too. That's the other thing too, is, okay, we're continuing this work that their mother and I have always talked about. We raising independent women up in here. Okay.
No, I think that makes complete sense. And I agree completely around that. I think one thing that I want to add to it too, that I've thought about a little bit, and how we talk about the moving forward, because there are people in this process who are earlier than you, and some people who are where you are, and some people who are where I am. I think there's a part of it too, where, like, decision making, even kind of further down the line, when you do have a new partner to your journey, is including them in those decisions. I struggled with that.
Because that's where you are now.
That's where I am now. I struggle with that. I still struggle with it, right? I built my identity to basically be mom, dad, dad, mom, and making all these decisions independent without anybody's help. Again, it became easier over time. First, it was like, picking up the phone and calling my sister, or getting my boys on the phone, or calling my parents, or talking to my therapist. And it got easier and easier over time to do it by myself. But then when I got remarried, then it was, making these decisions, and then the backlash of, hey, like, you didn't include me in this. Right. And I have to be more thoughtful of that. It's still something that I have to be thoughtful about and careful. We pay attention to being inclusive now. Right. Like, you have to almost undo part of that identity. Right. Going from partner to single to partner.
Right. You might have forgotten how that looks.
Right.
Or maybe it wasn't exactly how you anticipated in the previous situation.
Right.
You have a chance to do something differently now.
Right.
And this person wants to be involved. So you have to embrace it, acknowledge it, and then make her understand how important I married you for all of these different reasons, because I know you are my partner. We're shoulder to shoulder on so much of this going forward.
Yep.
So we have solo. That's where we started this episode. The solo decisions that leads to this beautiful partnership in some cases as you move forward. But then it's also this idea, no matter what, there's no GPS on this thing.
Exactly.
There's no final destination. You keep adding to that. There's no stopping point because you keep moving.
Yeah.
Because the representation of that are the young children in your household who you want to see well-rounded as they move on in their lives.
That's the goal.
So we thank you so much again for joining us on Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death. It's about loss, guys.
Yeah.
And loss and living. It's about grief and growth. That's what we want you all to understand as you talk back to us, as you continue to tune into our stories and other people we're going to bring into the conversation as well. But we really thank you for what you have sent back to us and on our socials and just the different feedback we get from friends and other people as well.
Yeah, and just remember that every decision you make is a brave decision. It's a step. And again, you're going to second guess yourself, and it's all right, because think about it. You probably second guessed yourself long before this journey.
Sure.
Right. So thank you for joining us again. We appreciate your time. Appreciate you spending these moments with us. Have a good day. Thank you for joining us on Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death. If something in today's episode spoke to you, pass it on, because somebody out there needs to hear this.
For sure. We're on all the social mausoleums. So follow us on Instagram, Threads, TikTok. Mostly it will be in the form of Get Back Up Podcast.
And be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
And remember, getting knocked down is part of life.
But getting back up is how we live.
We'll see y'all next time.